And welcome back. Well, this year the governor and state lawmakers revamped the popular Star property tax program to prevent fraud from those improperly claiming it, especially those claiming to meet the income guidelines. As a result, many homeowners now find themselves waiting on a check in the mail that's delayed instead of the automatic reduction in their already due school property tax bills.
They're getting sent out, by zip codes, by towns.
Long Island lawmakers say they're getting dozens of calls from homeowners wondering where their Star rebate checks are. Under new state legislation, anyone who bought a home after August 2015 will no longer see their school property tax bills reduced, but must instead wait for the state tax department in Albany to issue their rebate checks that were supposed to be mailed out in September but have been delayed.
People are calling my office and saying, listen, the October school tax bill was already due. I didn't get my rebate check. Can you tell me when it's going to be issued?
State bureaucrats say the changes were made to prevent fraud, but some homeowners are resentful that their school property tax bills have already come due.
It's just not right. I think they should be able to get their deduction immediately. They shouldn't have to wait for a refund check. They should just take it off the bill. Lawmakers
add that beginning this year, homeowners over 65 must continually prove they meet the income guidelines to gain an additional Star tax rebate. Senior Joe Jeffers first filed for it last year.
I had thought at the time that it was automatic. They just renew it every year. But then they sent me another application for 2017 and 2018, and they told me that I have to apply every year.
Local legislators say they're holding public workshops about the changes, but some homeowners say they should go back to the old system.
It's a typical thing where they just take your money and we'll give it to you. It's checks in the mail, and sooner or later you'll get it.
The state tax department is vowing that all rebate checks will be mailed out by December 31st. Now, as for enhanced STAR seniors, the state says they can agree to let the tax department somehow independently verify that they truly meet the income guidelines in order to be eligible. That in place of continually filling out the forms, but of course they'll still have to comply. Joining us now, Sean Acosta, whose business files STAR returns for its clients free of charge, and welcome. Sir, we know how many homeowners are affected?
There's thousands of homeowners who have been affected by the change in the STAR program.
And it's statewide, too. It's not just Long Island.
Correct. It's all over New York State.
But on Long Island, what towns or areas have you been hearing complaints from?
Mainly Nassau County and Suffolk County, that they haven't received their rebate check and that their taxes are already due in Nassau County in October 1st.
And of course, this is a seasonal thing where people have to pay their taxes, which are already due. Like you said, they were due in Nassau, and then January 1st for the state, right?
Correct.
Right. So you have to comply with your taxes, pay them now. This whole program was set up so that you would get some money to pay for that.
Correct.
And so how ironic it is that people are waiting for this now.
Well, the problem is the bills came out, and now they have to lay out the money and wait for their rebate check. And we know sometimes in the mail it gets lost.
How come wasn't sent out in September like first promised?
You know, they promised September, then October, then November, and now they're saying by December 31st everybody should have them.
Yeah, hopefully now. That's a deadline that actually counts. And that's what the gentleman in the story was saying, this typical old Albany type stuff. And in fact, one of the lawmakers was saying that there are people in his district that are comparing notes over the fence with somebody else who got their check and they're still waiting. Is it really like that?
Well, it is, because some people are getting a line item on their tax bill showing them they got the STAR reduction, and some people are waiting for the rebate check, which they still haven't received.
So explain clearly now what it is, because the people who bought their homes after August 2015, you know, there was potentially fraud with people claiming maybe a couple of homes when they should only claim their primary residence. And then also people could be going above the guidelines. And so they want to make sure that they're not actually giving this credit to people who shouldn't be getting it, right?
Correct. You have to be an owner-occupied, live in your house. You have to make under $500,000.
Well, what's the difference about buying your home after August 2015 to change the system? It's because they gradually wanted to move people onto the new system?
Correct.
Yeah,
and, and they say that they want to stop fraud.
Well, they've already had to ante up their local taxes, though. You know, what are folks telling you about that?
They're very angry right now because they'd rather have it on their tax bill as a line item than to wait for the refund check.
We hear there's some legislation possibly to change it back. Does it have any hopes? Because, you know, once something gets changed, it takes a mountain to move it back the other way.
A long time for it to be changed back.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, what are the guidelines for gaining some of these exemptions? I guess they're probably increased every year with inflation rate or something.
Correct. The enhanced STAR program for verification of income is $86,000
For just one person or
for the household.
for the household? So it wouldn't matter how many people you have in there.
Correct.
And what types of amounts are we talking about homeowners typically getting back?
$800 to $1,200.
That's
So it's a
significant
lot of
money,
money. Correct.
especially when you're heading into the holiday season.
Correct.
So if your check shows up on December 31st, or if you already ran the credit cards up for holiday shopping, you're like, thanks a lot.
Right.
Well, you know, that's part of the problem. You know, some of the guidelines for these programs could also be affected by the fact that the property tax freeze is set to expire now. Is that just a technicality, or are we expecting it to be renewed automatically? Or what effect would that have if it's not renewed on all of these various
Well,
programs?
if it's not renewed, people are going to be screaming and yelling because it's a lot of money to these people. It could be a payment of their mortgage. You know, $800 to $1,200 is a lot of money to these senior citizens who are living on limited income.
Well, give me the list of various programs that we're talking about here, because it's not just STAR.
Well, you have a couple of STAR programs. You have the basic STAR, which everybody could get if you live in your house, make under $500,000. There's the senior citizen one, and then there's the enhanced income senior citizen, where you have to make under $86,000.
Yeah, and people can get free help filling out these forms, right?
Correct. The forms are available. It's not done by your local assessor. It's by the state now. If they go to www.tax.ny.gov, the forms are online, or you can always call my office.
There you go, if you can remember that website.
Long.
It's like trying to remember your passwords. The check is in the mail. Sean Acosta, thanks for the update on battling the tax man.